started as a dare, one of those late-night decisions made under the haze of boredom and cheap beer. 4 friends: Lena, sharp-eyed and skeptical; Marcus, the self-proclaimed ghost debunker; Ava, sensitive and intuitive; and Theo, the quiet one with a fascination for the occult, venture into the forest after hearing rumors about a long-abandoned house that devours what it reflects. The house looms behind twisted trees like something half erased from memory. Its roof slants, as if the structure itself is trying to hide from the sky. Ivy claws up its stone walls, and the air around it is unnaturally still, as if the birds know better. Inside, the house breathes decay. The floorboards groan like they're protesting intrusion. Dust falls in shimmering curtains through broken windows. Faded portraits line the hallway, each one scratched out at the eyes. But it's in the attic where the real horror begins. Among discarded furniture and old toys sits a massive freestanding mirror, hidden beneath a velvet sheet. The air around it feels charged like static before a storm. Lena, drawn by an invisible pull, peels back the cover, and the air temperature drops. Instantly, the mirror reveals not just their reflections, but something else, a ripple, a shimmer, as though it's not made of glass but flesh stretched thin. And then, condensation. The mirror fogs from the inside, as if something behind it just exhaled. No one says a word. They just stare, and in the silence, something inside the mirror shifts. The friends haul the mirror downstairs, half joking about making it the centerpiece of the living room for vibes. But the laughter doesn't last long. That night, the house shifts. Walls creak rhythmically as if breathing. Shadows don't fall where they should. The mirror now sits propped in the center of the living room, and no one remembers carrying it there. Each friend sees something different in its depths. Ava, brushing her teeth, glances in the mirror and sees a reflection of her younger sister, long dead, standing silently behind her, smiling with lips far too wide. Theo watches his reflection slowly fill with water, his double gasping and pounding at the glass as invisible water drowns him from within. Marcus, the skeptic, sees nothing until his reflection smirks at him and doesn't stop. Lena catches the others whispering in anxious tones. She pretends to stay above it, rational, calm, but that night, her own reflection doesn't blink when she does. It just stares. Then come the dreams. Each of them has the same nightmare. They stand in front of the mirror, unable to move. Something watches them from the other side of the glass. Not a reflection, but a presence. It whispers in voices that sound familiar and wrong, revealing secrets they've never told anyone. When they wake up, their ears are still ringing. The mirror somehow knows them. The house is turning on them, and so is the mirror. Lena begins keeping her distance. Her usually sharp, take-no-nonsense attitude starts to crack. She's barely sleeping, eyes rimmed with red. She confides in Ava that when she was 8, her mother locked her in a mirror-filled room for hours as punishment. One of the mirrors moved back then. She never told anyone. Until now, Ava clings to the mirror, convinced it's a gateway to her sister, Emmy. She starts writing letters and pressing them against the glass, whispering childhood lullabies into it. The mirror fogs up in reply every time she touches it. Theo, once quiet but rational, is unraveling fast. He spends hours staring into the mirror, sketching the visions he sees inside. Unfamiliar symbols, rooms that don't exist in the house, and people with faces blurred into smudges. He insists it's trying to teach them something, warn them. And Marcus, the realist, records everything with his phone until he replays a video and sees himself standing in the background, watching, unmoving. That night, he finds deep scratches on his back, claw marks. He starts locking himself in his room. Their friendships fray. Accusations start. Secrets surface. The house feels smaller, colder. No one speaks about it out loud, but they all feel it. The mirror isn't reflecting them anymore. It's studying them. A storm hits. The power cuts. The house is lit only by candles and the occasional strike of lightning flashing through the warped windows. Theo, drawn by a vision in the mirror, finds a small crawl space behind a rotted wardrobe in the hallway. Inside, hidden beneath rotting cloth and dust, he finds an old, leather-bound journal wrapped in barbed twine. He cuts it open. It belonged to Nathaniel Voss, the house's last resident, an antiquarian obsessed with mirrors. His entries begin academic, dry, until page by page, his sanity deteriorates. He writes about the Mirror of Citra, an artifact that reflects not the physical self, but the soul's worst rot. He describes voices whispering from the other side, asking questions, offering freedom in truth. The deeper Theo reads, the more manic the handwriting becomes. The final entries are scrawled in a circle, repeated over and over. Feed it, or it finds a way, and then a loose photograph falls from the back. It's a black and white image of the four of them, standing in the attic, smiling, but the photo is decades old. The house feels like it's breathing. Every hallway seems longer than it was the day before. Doors that once led to bedrooms now open to dead ends or looping corridors. The friends begin to lose track of time. Hunger fades. Sleep becomes a luxury no one can afford. Ava vanishes first. She was seen talking to the mirror, softly, like to a child, and gone. No screams, no trail. Only her letter remains, stuck to the mirror's surface, written in reverse, legible only in the reflection. Lena, frantic, starts breaking mirrors in the house. Every shard reflects different versions of herself. One with hollow eyes, another grinning manically, and one mouthing the words, "You left me there." She boards up the attic door, but every morning it's open again. Theo isolates himself in a room wallpapered with his own drawings. He doesn't talk anymore, just listens, scribbles, listens. When Lena confronts him, he only says, "It's almost done seeing us." Marcus sets up cameras, but each video he reviews shows different events, different versions of what happened. In one, Theo stabs Ava. In another, Ava stabs herself. In real life, neither has blood on their hands. Everyone's reality is slipping. No one trusts each other, and the mirror is always waiting. It happens during a blackout. The air turns dense, humid, electric. Every light source extinguishes simultaneously. Only the mirror remains visible, illuminated from within by a soft, pulsating glow. Lena, Theo, and Marcus regroup in the living room, each on edge. The mirror's surface begins to ripple like disturbed water, and then something steps through. It looks almost human, but not quite. Its skin is ashen, stretched tight across its bones, with eyes like melted glass that drip black tears. Its smile is far too wide, mimicking Ava's final expression. Its fingers are too long, twitching like a puppet pulled by invisible strings. It doesn't walk. It glides. The friends freeze. The room goes silent. Then it speaks, not aloud, but in their heads. It calls out their names. But it doesn't say them with familiarity. It says them like it owns them. Lena screams and throws a lantern. It bursts into flame. The creature recoils, not from the fire, but from its own reflection in the mirror behind them. It hisses, vanishes into the wall. Silence returns, but now they know it can leave the mirror, and it's hunting them. The mirror wants something, but no one knows what, only that it's awake now and growing stronger. Lena finds Theo standing over a pile of burned sketches. He tells her the only way to weaken the entity is to trap it back in the mirror using the same ritual Nathaniel Voss described in his journal. But there's a cost. It requires a sacrifice, a soul freely given. Theo doesn't elaborate who that might be. Meanwhile, Marcus is unraveling. He's discovered hidden trapdoors and passageways beneath the house, hallways that shouldn't exist. One leads him to a circular room lined with cracked mirrors. In the center, Ava's bracelet. He pockets it, his hands trembling. That night, the friends gather in the living room to attempt the ritual. Theo pours salt in a wide circle around the mirror. Candles flicker unnaturally, bending away from the glass instead of toward it. Lena reads from Vasa's journal. As the final words leave her lips, the mirror begins to pull. Not just light, reality itself bends inward. Theo's nose starts to bleed. Marcus clutches his head and screams. Visions flood his mind. Ava begging for help from the other side of the mirror, her hands raw and bloodied. Then her face changes. Something else is wearing her skin. Lena drops the book. The pull intensifies. The room begins to warp. One of the walls peels back like paper, revealing a dark corridor where something crawls, fast and low. They break the circle. Everything slams back into silence. The mirror cracks. Not fully, just enough to smile. The ritual failed, and now it knows they're trying to fight back.
Lena finds herself alone. She wakes in the basement, though she doesn't remember going there. The air is thick with mildew, the only sound a dripping pipe echoing endlessly. In front of her, another mirror. Smaller, dusty, untouched. She wipes it clean. Her reflection doesn't move. Instead, it speaks. You can leave. Just say yes. Suddenly, she sees everything. Flashes of the mirror's victims across time. Lives ruined, families torn apart, friends turning on one another. A pattern stretching back over a century. The house is a cage, built around the mirror to contain it. Nathaniel Voss didn't go mad. He built a prison, and they're just the latest inmates. Meanwhile, Marcus discovers a hidden diary behind a panel in the wall, Ava's diary. Pages filled with writing in a language no one ever taught her. And one line repeated in English, "She's not me. Don't let her out." Back in the living room, Theo hears his name being whispered over and over. He turns to the mirror. Ava is standing there. She looks alive, normal, smiling. "Help me, Theo," she says softly. "Please. It's so cold in here." He moves toward her. Lena bursts into the room, screaming, "That's not her." For a split second, the mirror flickers. Ava's face distorts. Her eyes turn black. Her jaw unhinges. Theo stumbles back in horror. They realize it's been luring them one by one, picking them off through the ones they love. Their memories, their guilt. The mirror feeds on connection. The only way to stop it is to sever every emotional tie. The house is no longer a house. Walls bleed, floors groan like ribs under pressure. Every mirror in the building is pulsing with a heartbeat. Time fractures, midnight stretches on endlessly, and the creature is no longer hiding behind reflections. It walks among them now. Lena, Theo, and Marcus regroup in the attic, the highest point in the house. The shattered remains of the original mirror lie in the center, its pieces twitching like insects. Theo believes that if they destroy every reflective surface and sever the entity's ability to mimic them, it will be trapped again. But it's not going down without a fight. The moment Theo raises the hammer, the lights vanish, and the attic is filled with whispers. Ava's voice, Lena's father, Marcus's childhood bullies, all speaking at once, all accusing, all true. Mirrors along the attic walls swirl with ghostly scenes from their pasts, trauma, guilt, betrayal. The entity uses every shard like a portal, stepping from one to the next, multiplying with each entrance. Now there are 3, then 6, then dozens of it, each version wearing the face of someone they love twisted into a nightmare. Theo screams and charges one with the hammer. It impales him with a jagged glass limb, his blood splattering against a cracked mirror that shows him still alive, smiling. Then it fades. Marcus grabs a lighter and a can of kerosene from the attic stash. "Burn it all," he growls. "End it." Lena hesitates. She sees her mother in one of the shards, crying. But she knows it's a lie. She grabs the torch and together she and Marcus ignite the room. The creature screeches, a sound that doesn't belong in this world. The attic explodes in glass and flame. The entity convulses as its mirrored forms shatter one by one. Then silence. A single reflective fragment falls at Lena's feet. In it, her face. But behind her, someone smiling. Morning comes, but the sun feels wrong. The sky is gray, the air unnaturally still. The fire department never arrives. There are no sirens, no birds, just a low hum in the air, like something unfinished. Lena and Marcus stumble out of the burning house. Smoke clings to them like cobwebs. Theo is gone. Whether he died or was claimed, they'll never know. As they cross the front lawn, they look back. The house is whole again. Not burning, not damaged, just standing, untouched. Inside, lights flicker. A figure watches them from the attic window. Smiling, they run. Weeks later, Marcus disappears. Lena watches the footage from the attic cameras obsessively. Frame by frame, she sees it. The last mirror wasn't destroyed. A single sliver remained lodged in Marcus's backpack. One night, as he sleeps, he reflects on something moving. Not in the room, but in the glass. Something that looks like her. She smashes the computer screen. But when she looks up, her reflection in the blackened monitor blinks. And she didn't. The mirror was never just a window. It's a door, and it's open.